Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'll be doing part 2 of my Q&A answer videos. And again, I want to thank everybody who contributed with questions. You had some really great questions here. I probably anticipate doing one more video after this, and that should get all the questions in. So let's go ahead and get started. First question is from Booksmusicandkenzie. It has 2 questions. What started your love of books, and did you read them as a child? Actually, my exposure to them as a child started my love of books. My mom reading to me, Dr. Seuss, Mother Goose stories, and things like that. I really enjoyed Winnie the Pooh, one of my favorite characters. So, yeah, just being exposed to them really young started my love of books. Next questions are from Scribbles110697. Do you like your job at Barnes & Noble, and what are some of your favorite books, singles, or series? Yeah, I really do like my job at Barnes & Noble. I mean, to use various cliches, it's like a kid in a candy store. Every day is Christmas. Working in the receiving department is the best because, I get to open up all these boxes and see firsthand the books that are there. So I see everything coming through the door, and yeah, it takes a dent in the paycheck. But yeah, I'm surrounded by my passion, which is books and reading. So every day is a good day. And for the second part, what are some of my favorite books? Let's see. In various genres, it's hard to remember them all, but Fahrenheit 451 and 1984, some of the earlier dystopian novels that I was exposed to, I love. Any Story by Edgar Allan Poe. Sherlock Holmes stories. I'm a big Sherlock Holmes fan. And I'm trying to separate out my YA because there's another question that focuses on that one. Definitely one of my favorite series, the Hollow series by Kim Harrison. This is like the latest book that's out. All of the Jasper Fforde books, the Thursday Next series. This is the first one, The Air Affair. Those are some of my favorite authors in those. And of course, To Kill a Mockingbird. That's my all-time favorite. I read that in high school and just fell in love with the book. The next question from SheRaconteurs. I wanted to know, if I haven't watched any Doctor Who, where should I start? It depends. If you want to go old school, my favorite Doctor is the first one I was exposed to, which was the 4th Doctor, Tom Baker. He has the longest reign, I think, of any of the Doctors. It was 7 seasons. And he's just very quirky. The storylines are great. He had so many different companions throughout those years. So you get to see his interaction with those different companions. Sarah Jane Smith being the first companion and one of my favorites. And, yeah, it's just great. Robot is his first episode. If you want to go, and it's if you don't mind kind of the low tech, not really, not a lot of special effects in those earlier shows, but they're kind of quaint and just a lot of fun. If you want to go more recent Doctors, and with all the special effects that they throw into them these days, I would go with the David Tennant series, the 10th Doctor, one of my favorites of the current one, and Blink is one of my favorite episodes with the Weeping Angels. I highly recommend that if you just want to pick one episode to just see if you like it. That would definitely be a really cool episode. Second question is, also, do you have a favorite mystery book to recommend? I wouldn't say one specific book, and I'm not going to go into the Sherlock Holmes because those are just the classics, but probably my second favorite author in mystery genre is Colin Dexter, who wrote the Inspector Morse series. I own all the DVDs of that series when they put them out with John Thaw. But the books themselves are just so very well written and take place in Oxford. And I love the character of Inspector Morse and his Sergeant Lewis, and the interaction between the characters. I just highly recommend that series if you haven't picked up and you're looking for a really good mystery series. The next question comes from Mix, M-I-K-Z, 123100. What is the most you ever spent on books in one trip to the bookstore? I'm sure it's been over $100, but those are rare occasions. I try not to go over that far, and it's usually around the holidays. I don't have a lot of books to buy for other people because nobody in my family really reads. So it's usually books that I'm adding to my own collection, and around the holidays we kind of get a bonus discount at work. So that's when I kind of try and save up most of my purchases. The next question comes from, I love this name, PushedIntoTheGrave. What's your favorite YA novels? The Maze Runner series, the Gone series, Fault in Our Stars, anything by John Green, basically. Partials by Dan Wells recently. This series I am really loving and pushing like crazy because it's just amazing. Unwind series by Neil Shusterman. This is book 2, Unholy, which I'm almost finished with. Really great dystopian book. Those are probably my top ones. Velveteen, of course, by Danny Marks. Something Strange and Deadly by Susan Dennard, I really, really liked. I also recommend Glitch by, I can't get her name, Heather Anastasiou. I really enjoyed that one as well. I'm sure there's quite a few. The list is enormous. You can check it out on Goodreads. I'm sure I've posted some of my top ones in there. I might have to start a shelf just for that. But anyway, those are some of the ones that readily come to mind. The next 3 questions are from Bronze Leviosa. I need a wand for that part. First question is one I've answered in the previous video. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? I would love to go to the UK, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England. Just, do a tour through there. It's just such a beautiful country. Number 2, what are some of your favorite sites to buy books? Obviously Barnes & Noble, because I get a discount. I also shop at the Half Price Books and the Friends of the Library sale. I have been finding quite a few books at Friends of the Library sale. I also shopped online at Book Closeouts. They have some really good deals at good prices. So yeah, those are some of my sites. Oh, I forgot to bring the book here. 1 second. Oh, this is where you wish you had editing software. The third question that she has is, what is the most treasured book you own and the one that you would save if you were in a fire? And that would be this monster book, Harry Potter Page to Screen. I mean, it's just enormous. It's probably it's the most expensive book I own. And it's just gorgeously made and full of photos and stories and everything. Everything you ever want to know about Harry Potter. It's just a gorgeous book. So that's definitely one I would take with me. Ooh, get a workout too. Yeah. So the next questions come from BBGirl555. Which books do you find yourself recommending to others all the time? That would definitely be the Jasper Fforde books, the Thursday Next series. Just very quirky, a lot of fun, a lot of humor, a lot of literary references about a woman who can jump into books. She uses this thing called the Prose Portal. A lot of great characters in here, including her reincarnated Dodo, which is her pet. And again, the Kim Harrison books, I'm constantly recommending these. This is the Hollow series. The main character is Rachel Morgan, who's a witch. She runs sort of like a bounty hunter type agency with a vampire named Ivy and a pixie named Jenks, who's quite a character. A lot of really great, great characters in there, great storyline. I can't wait to see what happens next. So those are probably the 2 series-wise that I recommend most to anybody. Next questions come from Thatkidniall. Has 6 questions. Favorite genre? Definitely dystopian. It's just, you could do anything with that category. You can create any kind of world, and there have been some amazing ideas and scary ones as well that have come up in that. Second question, YA or adult? It doesn't matter. I enjoy both. Currently, I am finding quite a few books that I'm wanting to read and basically catch up on the YA area. So probably focusing more on that age group right now. Third is YouTube or Goodreads. I use both. Goodreads would be kind of like my blog, where I can type in my reviews and things like that and post it. But YouTube I really enjoy because I enjoy the interaction, getting responses back from the viewers and stuff. And I also enjoy watching other blog channels, or I guess you call them vlog channels, and seeing what everybody else is reading. So I get a lot bigger kick out of the YouTube than Goodreads, but I do use both. 4 favorite authors, again, J.K. Rowling, definitely. Kim Harrison, Jasper Fforde, Michael Grant, Danny Marks. I love his first book. I can't wait to see what he comes up with next. Your classics. Edgar Allan Poe, Sherlock Holmes, Colin Dexter. Those are some of my favorites. Do you have any other pets? Nope, just Skippy, my little Shih Tzu, wherever she is. And the last question, 6, are you married? No ring on it. Not married. Next questions comes from Karen Law. What is your favorite genre to read? Again, definitely dystopian. There's just so many great books out there, and I always love to see what the author's going to come up with and what kind of world they're going to create. And number 2, out of all the books you've read, what is your favorite character and least favorite character? Well, definitely favorite character's got to be Harry Potter. From the moment he gets that letter from Hogwarts, seeing how his whole life changes, things he's exposed to, and it's just such a great character development. So well thought out, the whole series. I just really enjoyed watching Harry grow and face all these difficulties in his life. My least favorite character, probably just because I didn't enjoy the book as well either, I couldn't connect with this character, was from the book Elsewhere. The main protagonist was Liz, a 15-year-old girl who dies, goes to Elsewhere, which is sort of like a heaven, and then ages backwards throughout the story. And it was hard to relate to that storyline. I thought she was a bit of a whiner in the beginning. I couldn't connect with her. So she's probably, of the ones I can remember of all the books I've read over the years, it's probably the most recent, would be Liz. I didn't really care for her too much. Next question comes from BunnyCates. How long have you worked at Barnes & Noble, and do you like your job there? This past June, I hit my 27th year, so obviously I like my job there, or I wouldn't be there for 27 years. As much as I enjoy being surrounded by books and everything, I think the best part of the job is the people I work with. And I'm going to get emotional. I don't consider them so much as fellow employees, but friends. So they make that job so much more enjoyable. The second question, I know you collect Doctor Who. Do you collect anything else? Yeah, I don't anymore, but I still have the collection, and it wasn't enormous or anything, but I had a keychain collection, and kept them in this tube, and I just pulled out some of my favorites. There's some quirky ones. This is a guy from South Park. If you remember the robot from Lost in Space. Rubik's Cube. Whoops, wait, I got another one tied up there. A Rubik's Cube. You know, I can only ever get one side. I don't know how people do that. Got Mr. Potato Head. We have the Pillsbury Doughboy. Wallace from Wallace and Gromit. I absolutely love this cartoon series. Mr. Bean. And here is Teddy. That guy's crazy. This one's kind of weird. He's the dog from Toy Story. And he expands. And one of my favorites of all is the alien from Toy Story, just because he's so cute. But yeah, that was my keychain collection, but I don't really collect anything anymore other than Doctor Who, so, but it was fun. And the next 6 questions come from RyanReadsBooks. First one, if you had to move to another country, where would you move and why? Definitely England. Beautiful. So many places, like I said, I want to see there. And the added bonus, the best one of all, I don't have to learn another language. Kudos, because I can't learn another language. Number 2, when did you discover your love for reading? I'd say probably in grade school around, I think it was about my fifth grade, which would be about, you're like 9, 10 years old. I can remember reading abridged versions of Edgar Allan Poe. I mean, you know, Telltale Heart, really creepy kind of stories, but they were really intriguing. And, yeah, that really just kind of, that stands out in my mind. So I think that really sparked my interest. I mean, I was, you know, like I said, exposed to like Dr. Seuss and, you know, the younger stories, but as you got a little more advanced reading, those little bridge versions were just really fascinating. So that kind of sparked it for me. Third question from Ryan is, what's a book you could read over and over and never get sick of? Probably To Kill a Mockingbird, because I have read it over and over again. I've listened to it on audio. The audio CDs are really good. Number 4, what's your favorite food? Definitely my mom's lasagna. She makes an awesome to die for lasagna, or we call it in Italian pasticcio. She makes her own meat sauce, so that just, oh. It's September, so my birthday's coming up, and she always makes it for my birthday, so I'm really looking forward to it. Wish you could taste it. Number 5, what kind of movies do you like? Definitely have to have action. I love action movies, sci-fi. The occasional horror movie. I usually end up having to go see those by myself because my friends are just big chickens. Yeah, but definitely like sci-fi action. And number 6, what is a movie you really loved? And he put in parentheses, not including Jurassic Park. Okay, Jurassic Park 3. Haha. No. I know, he's just picking at me because he knows how much I like that movie. If I had to pick one other movie, can I pick 2? They're both by James Cameron. Titanic, definitely, because I had this fascination with Titanic. And he just pulled it off. It was amazing. But other than that, Avatar. I think Avatar is just fantastic. The storyline and just visually, it's so beautiful. I can't get over it. The creatures, when he moves into the bodies of these creatures, it's just beautifully done. And a really great storyline, too. So, yeah, I have to pick probably Avatar overall. And the next 4 questions comes from TheSmartestWitch. What is your favorite book from each of the genres below? First genre is fantasy. I'll take it to be urban fantasy. And I'd have to pick the first book in the Hollow series. I don't have a copy of it, but it's Dead Witch Walking. Because it just, you know, introduces you to the whole Hollow series and Rachel Morgan and her storyline. So, yeah. Romance. I have nothing. I just don't read romance books. I find them kind of boring. Historical fiction. I don't read a lot of historical fiction either, but one book that really comes to mind that I really enjoyed was the autobiography of Henry VIII by Margaret George. A really fascinating look into the life of Henry VIII, told from his point of view, and then in between his story, his telling of the story is remarks from his jester, Will Summers, and there's a lot of humor from his point of view, kind of poking fun at Henry VIII, but the storyline, it's just really, you're reading a historical book, getting facts, but from a different point of view. It was just really, really well written. It's a monster of a book, but if you have a love for historical fiction, I highly recommend it. Margaret George, Autobiography of Henry VIII. Fiction, To Kill a Mockingbird. Always been my favorite, always will be. And nonfiction, I'd have to go with Devil in the White City by Eric Larson. The story of a serial killer in Chicago during the World's Fair. Very fascinating. I didn't really know about it. It was, you know, New York Times bestseller for forever and ever. And I was really curious and finally picked it up, and I was so glad I did. If you don't like to get lost in history too much, you find it bogged down or too much factual stuff, his books are amazing. They read like a fiction book. You don't feel like you're getting just facts thrown at you. You're involved in this storyline of this person and the horrors that he committed, but and the settings and everything with the World's Fair and all that. Just really, really fascinating. I also read Thunderstruck, another book that he wrote that I really enjoyed. So, but Devil in the White City was definitely one of my favorites for nonfiction. The second question from The Smartest Witch was, if you were to live in a time period other than the present, which one would it be? I definitely have to say the future, distant future. You know, I want to know how things turn out. I want to know, are we going to end up on another planet? Are we going to be colonizing out there? Is there other life out there somewhere? I just want to know what we come up with. Are we still around? Have we destroyed ourselves? You know, saying that with a smile on my face. So, yeah, I want to know what happens next. So, I'd like to get a peek into that future. The third question is, have you read Gregor, the Overlander series by Suzanne Collins? It's an awesome series that often gets overlooked. No, actually I have not. Obviously, I like Suzanne Collins' other books. You know, The Hunger Games are fantastic. I have seen the books, the Gregor, the Overlander series, but I've never picked them up. But I will definitely check them out and see what they're all about. And lastly, who do you like more, Charlotte Bronte or Jane Austen? Embarrassed to say, I don't think I've actually read either author. Yeah, I have read classics, but for some reason I haven't really, nothing really comes to mind that I picked up by either one of those two authors, so, yeah. And the final question I have today is by SuperNeonsneakers. What's your favorite non-book hobby? As I mentioned kind of in the previous video, I do like to draw. Probably hobby-wise, I'd say drawing cartoons. Something always pops into my head. And I've been kind of doing this since I started working for B. Dalton, which is a division of Barnes & Noble. Many, many years ago, I would, you know, a situation would come up at work and that idea would pop into my head or something from my family. So I have a couple different books, but this is I kind of did an introduction, Welcome to My World. And that's my little character I created with the glasses and everything. I like to cartoon people. And this is from 1996. I called this The Little Rascals, and this is the crew I was working with. So I turned this all into cartoon characters. This lady here in purple was my boss. That's me. I'm wearing a little baseball cap because I was into sports. Doing the little Vulcan salute. Yay! And yeah, this is basically whatever was involved with the different characters. This person was in plays, and this one also liked to play sports. So I threw something of their personality into each character. She used to dance. My boss liked kaleidoscopes and liked to eat Cheetos. So I threw that in there. Yeah. I do that with my family too. This is like my youngest nephew, and drew a picture of us together, and we went to the park where you jump in the balls, and I was watching him. We went to Carl's Jr. for lunch, and yeah, I just like to draw funny cartoon characters of them. And this is my other nephew, and when they were little, I used to draw and make little books for them. And I used to like that's him with his dad on the roller coaster, and we're juggling. I was trying to teach him how to juggle. Let's see. Oh, this is shortly after I got my dog. I thought this was funny because this is exactly the image that was in my living room. My parents were both asleep. There's my dad in his chair, and he sometimes would sleep like that. My mom had fallen off the couch. And there's my dog down there, and I'm just commenting that. And to think I got a dog to keep me company when my mom and dad fell asleep watching television. And of course my dog was asleep too. They were all just passed out. So I'll do like a lot of quirky things like that. I have a whole slew of them. That's me and my nephew's drawing together. And I just get a kick out of that. Sometimes I'll hear a comment and an idea will pop into my head. So that's probably my biggest non-book hobby. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. And like I said, there should be probably one more video to finish up all the questions. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.